Hello. Today we're going to discuss the do's and don'ts of the lemonade business, and I'm going to give you 5 do's and 5 don'ts to follow. Whether you're a new vendor, haven't started yet, just starting, or a seasoned veteran, this list should help you on how to become a successful lemonade vendor. This is Mike, the Caesar of concessions, back with another video. Okay, the lemonade business is amazing, right? If you've done it, you know how great it is. And if you're just getting into it, it is absolutely brilliant and amazing. The first do is be creative with your flavors. Now that doesn't matter if you're using syrups or fresh fruit like I do. Whatever it is you're using to make your lemonades, do be creative. And what I mean by that is, have your regular lemonade or strawberry lemonade. But past that, come up with some unique flavors that will catch the eye of potential customers, okay? And I think that's really important because most lemonade vendors will just do straight up lemonade. Some will do strawberry lemonade. But past that, really, not a lot of vendors do it. So be one of the top 10, 20% that do different flavors and be creative with those flavors that you have. Now, when I say be creative, let's not get crazy and do some kind of bacon lemonade or something like that. You know what I mean? Let's just be creative with our flavors and catch our customers' eye. The number one don't use country time as your base. Look, if you have to, and you have like no money, you're trying to start out, you're trying to keep costs low, and you have to do it for a job, okay. I am not someone to tell you how not to feed your family. That, do what you have to do. But once you get that initial job, if you do use country time, squash it, throw it out the window, and get on with fresh squeezed lemonade. You will see that your sales will go up dramatically, and because of your presentation is better, the flavor is better, etc., etc. Okay? Don't use country time. The number 2 do. Find your costs as close to the penny as you can. That means how much are your lemons per cup? How much are your cups? How much does it cost you for ice? How much does it cost you for sugar? Right? Find these things out. If you use syrup, find out how much your syrup is per cup. Find out how much your fruit is if you use fresh fruit per cup. Finding your cost is extremely important. That way, you can properly price your product, okay? The number 2 don't over or under charge for your product. And you're like, Mike, why wouldn't I overcharge for my product? Because that can really hurt you. If you're selling a 32-ounce lemonade, $8, $9, $10, yes, there's people that get that, absolutely. But if you're in a situation where there's other lemonade vendors, which there usually are, someone smart's going to come in and undercut you. And they're going to take your sales away. Or people will just be put off in general by the price. So that's why the first part of this, finding your cost to be appropriate and charging that appropriate amount. Okay, I highly recommend not overcharging for your product. You really, as a vendor, would want more volume versus a higher sticker price per item. Okay? The number 3 do make your setup look good. Look, I've seen so many vendors with raggedy tents. Nothing wrong with tents. That's how I started. I still use tents at certain events and things like that. The tent isn't the problem. It's the way people set it up. Make it look, and you can set your tent up and make it look amazing and not spend a lot of money. You just cheap tablecloths. You can actually use tablecloths and tape them to your tent around your tables to give it make like skirts, to make it look professional. Okay. That's very, very important. That's the first thing people are going to see when they come by your tent is how it looks. And if the tent's dirty, the area in your lemonade vending area is dirty and cluttered, that's going to leave a horrible impression, right? So please make sure that your tent area looks good, okay? Don't make handmade signs with your own handwriting if you can help it. I highly recommend it. It doesn't take a lot of money, again, to have professional looking signs. You can get them at Vistaprint. You can print signs off at possibly a library. If you don't have a lot of money, use your computer. Whatever it takes to make your signage look good. Now, if you have beautiful handwriting and you can make your signs look good, okay, go for it. But a lot of us don't. And you don't want to have horrible handwriting on a sign where you look incompetent, because, again, first impressions in this business are extremely important. And if I was to write on my signage, people would think I am a serial killer. They will think I will kidnap them because my handwriting is awful. And that gives a bad impression to potential customers. Okay? Number 4, find the right amount to sell at an event. Okay? There is no magic number. But I'll tell you what I do. I try to find out the expected attendance at an event, and I figure that I will sell to 10% of that attendance, okay? And why that's so important is, I will explain that in the don't part, but you need to try to find out realistically what you can sell at an event, okay? Don't be afraid to sell out at an event. I know, you sold out. You may have some more potential customers that walk by and you're kicking yourself. Guys, that's okay to sell out. People hate to hear that for some reason. It's okay to sell out. And from a business perspective, it's fine. And I'm going to tell you why. Waste is a killer in our business. And people do not think about waste very often. If you buy way too much product and you get way too overzealous and you don't sell out, or you don't come close to selling out, what are you going to do with your lemons? They do go bad. You can preserve them a little bit by keeping them in the fridge. They'll last there a week, 2, maybe 3, okay? But if you have so much, over on your lemons, you're going to waste that. And that will definitely cut into your bottom line. So it's okay to sell out, and don't be afraid to do that. Number 5, especially your first year, do as many events as possible, because you're only in your first year and you don't know what's going to work season to season, year to year. In order to get a baseline of what events are good or bad, you have to do them. Yeah, some events are going to be horrible and they may end up being losers, but you don't know until you try. And sometimes I've done so many events that I thought were going to be horrible, ended up being okay or great, or they led me to get other jobs from people that were at the event. Your first year, do as many stinking events as you can possibly do. And then the following year, trim the fat and find other events that are like your good ones. And for the last, fifth one on don't give up. If you have a bad year, you have a bad 2 years, don't give up. The lemonade business is extremely good. You just have to find your groove. And sometimes, my friends, that does take time. It took me 3 years to start to get really profitable. My situation isn't like others. Some are profitable their first year. Some it takes even longer. Don't give up, my friends. Stay with it. As long as you are dedicated to your business and you work hard, you will be successful. This is Mike, the Season of Concessions, out.